I came to Silver Pines Ski Resort for peace. After Denver, I just wanted quiet. No sirens, no crowds, no noise. Just snow, silence, and a job that didn't involve people. But peace doesn't live here. Not on this mountain. The resort sits high in the Rockies, 3 hours north of the nearest town. The road twists for miles, and when it snows, it's like driving through white tunnels of fog. People say the mountain shifts after dark. I didn't believe them. My first night, Frank, the head groundskeeper, handed me a laminated card. He didn't smile. He just said, "Keep this with you, always." The rules were simple. 1, never go outside alone after midnight. 2, don't follow lights on the slopes. 3, keep the snowplow running between 2 and 3 a.m. 4, don't trace footprints that lead toward the lodge. 5, never answer the radio if you hear your own voice. It sounded like some stupid initiation thing, but Frank didn't look like a guy who joked. His eyes were red around the edges, like he hadn't slept in days. The first week was fine. I did night patrols, kept an eye on the lifts, checked the generator. The place looked unreal under the moon, silver trails winding between black trees. It almost felt like the mountain was breathing. Then came the storm. Wind howled through the resort like something alive. Around 1:40 a.m., I saw a light moving near the slopes. Just a faint glow drifting between the trees. I thought it was a skier stuck out there. I grabbed my coat and flashlight. But when I stepped outside, the wind cut through me like glass. The light was gone. I walked a few feet into the snow and froze. There were footprints, deep ones, leading toward the lodge, but no footprints leading away. I followed them a few steps, shining the beam around. Nothing. The trail just stopped. The snow beyond was untouched. When I came back inside, Frank was waiting by the door. "You followed them?" he asked. I said I only went a few steps. He stared past me at the snow. "Don't do that again." The next day, a tourist went missing, a teenage boy. They said he took a board out after dark, but the lifts were closed. The search teams found his snowboard half buried near the tree line. The bindings were snapped. No blood, no tracks. Just the board, standing upright in the snow, like someone placed it there. That night, I was in the control room, watching the camera feeds. Everything was quiet, until one of the monitors flickered. Camera 6, facing the back slope. For a second, I saw something move, like a shadow crawling under the snow, then static. When the screen cleared, I saw words scrawled across the snow in front of the lens. "Stay inside." I went to tell Frank, but he was already in the hallway, holding the radio. His hands were shaking. "You heard it too?" he asked. "What?" The voice. He turned the volume up. Static hissed through the speaker, and then a whisper, quiet, broken, but clear. It was my voice. "Don't look outside." The following nights were worse. Jen, the bartender, said she heard something brushing against her cabin walls. Slow, dragging sounds that circled the building. When she looked out, there was nothing but snow. Marcus, the mechanic, laughed it off until it happened to him. He said something pressed against his window in the dark, heavy enough to bend the glass. But when he opened the curtains, all he saw was his own reflection. The next morning, Marcus didn't come to breakfast. Frank and I found his boots sitting by the maintenance shed. One was filled with snow, packed tight, as if someone had forced it in by hand. That evening, Frank told me the story of Silver Pines. Long before it was a resort, the mountain was a mining site. 23 men disappeared one winter. Their camp was found empty, but the ground was warm, steaming, even in freezing air. Locals said the mountain swallowed them whole. The company shut everything down, buried the tunnels, and built the resort right on top. I laughed. Frank didn't. "They never filled the tunnels right," he said. "Sometimes you can still hear them moving." That night I did my 2 a.m. patrol. The wind had stopped completely. The whole world felt muted, like sound had frozen too. Halfway across the slope, my headlights caught something ahead. A shape hunched low to the ground. I slowed down the snowplow. My chest felt tight. The beam hit it, and I realized it was a person, or something shaped like one. Its head turned toward me, slow and stiff, like it had forgotten how to move. Then it sank down into the snow. Not fell, sank. The surface swallowed it. When I reached the spot, there was nothing, just smooth, untouched snow. I backed the plow up all the way to the lodge and locked the doors. Around 3 a.m., I heard Jen's voice on the radio. "I'm outside," she said. "Please open the door." But she was sitting across from me, asleep in the chair. The radio crackled again, louder this time. "I'm outside. Please open the door." I looked at the monitor. Someone was standing in the snow just beyond the porch light, head tilted, unmoving. Then Jen woke up beside me and whispered, "I didn't say that." We shut off the radio. By morning, the power was fading. The generator struggled to start, coughing, sputtering. The snow outside looked different, smoother, heavier, like it had sealed the lodge in. Frank went to check the basement lines. He didn't come back. Hours later, I followed the maintenance tunnel down. The air felt thick, like it didn't want to move. Frost lined the walls in perfect handprint shapes. At the end of the passage, I found Frank's lantern still burning, half buried in ice. The tunnel beyond it had caved in. I tried calling out, but my voice echoed wrong, too deep. Like it wasn't just me answering. I backed out slowly, one step at a time, feeling the cold crawl behind me. Now I'm alone in the control room. The wind stopped again. The snow outside glows faintly, like there's light trapped inside it. Every few minutes the knocking starts. Always 3 knocks. Always slow. Sometimes, between the knocks, I hear breathing. Not from outside, from the walls. The radio's been quiet for a while, but I know it'll start again soon. And when it does, it won't be my voice this time. If you ever find yourself in the Rockies, and you hear bells echoing through the snow, don't follow the sound. It's not calling for help. It's calling for you. The silence stretches for hours now. I can hear my heartbeat echo against the glass. Sometimes it skips, not because I'm scared, but because it feels like something else is keeping time with it, a rhythm that isn't mine. Yesterday I found new footprints in the hallway, inside, the size of my boots, but I hadn't gone down there. The snow that clung to them hadn't melted, even in the heat. When I checked the storage room, I found Frank's ID card frozen into the window, pressed flat against the glass from the outside, like he'd been trying to push through. At dusk, Jen and I tried the emergency beacon. It blinked twice, then died. We could still hear the hum of power somewhere deep underground, like the mountain itself was alive and breathing through metal lungs. Later that night, Jen started whispering names in her sleep, names we didn't know. I shook her awake, but she just stared at me like she didn't recognize me. Then she said, "You're not supposed to be here," and went back to sleep. The next morning she was gone. I found her parka on the porch, hanging neatly on the hook beside mine. Her footprints went straight into the snow and vanished halfway across the slope. I tried calling her name, but my voice came back from somewhere behind me. Now I don't know what's real anymore. The radio keeps turning itself on. Each time, it plays pieces of our conversations, ones we never had, my voice saying things I never said. And sometimes, in between the static, I can hear laughter, faint, childlike. I checked the cameras again. On camera 6, near the tree line, something was standing there, tall, still. I thought it was one of the old snowmen the tourist built, but when I looked again, its head had turned slightly toward the lens. The next frame, it was gone. The snow outside moves differently now. It doesn't fall. It drifts upward, like it's breathing. I've seen shadows shift beneath it, like figures swimming just under the surface. There's a mirror in the control room. I keep catching movement in it when I'm not facing it. Sometimes I see someone behind me, always at the edge of the reflection. When I turn around, there's nothing, but the reflection lags, just a second behind, like the mirror is remembering. 2 hours ago I tried to leave. The door wouldn't open. The snow has fused to it, hard as stone. I smashed the glass and reached through, but the air outside burned my skin. Cold that bites, like it's alive. Now the only light left comes from the monitors. Camera 3 shows the lobby, empty. Camera 5 shows the slopes. And camera 6, I had to unplug it. The last time I looked, something was standing at the bottom of the hill, holding a flashlight. My flashlight. It waved once, then dropped the light and started walking toward the lodge. That was 40 minutes ago. I can hear it now. Crunching snow, slow deliberate steps circling the walls. Sometimes it stops right outside and waits. I can feel it, the stillness, like it's listening. There's a sound under the floor, like a heartbeat deep in the ice. It thumps once every few seconds, and with each thump, the lights flicker, dim, pulse, as if the lodge itself is breathing with it. I think it's inside now. The air feels heavier, denser. I can see my breath even though the heater's off. My own reflection in the window is smiling back at me. The radio just came alive again. There's whispering. Dozens of voices layered on top of each other, like the mountain is speaking. Between them, one stands out. Mine, calm and steady. It says, "Let it in." I can't tell if I'm asleep or awake anymore. The walls hum, the snow glows, and the air tastes like metal. If anyone finds this recording, don't come here. Don't look for silver pines. The roads don't lead where they used to. Sometimes, when the storm clears, you can still see the lights flickering up here. But it's not the resort anymore. It's the mountain, watching back.